Welcome students, and in previous video we learned about Delhi Sultanate, and in Delhi Sultanate we came to know about the slave dynasty, the founder of slave dynasty, and after Kutubuddin Aibak we came to know about Iltutmish, and now in this session we will learn what would happen after the death of Iltutmish. As Iltutmish previously declared his daughter Rajia Sultan as his successor, because his sons were not able, so he declared his daughter Rajia Sultan as his successor. So after the death of Iltutmish, Rajia became the ruler of Delhi Sultanate. So she was the first Muslim woman to have ascended the throne. So she was very brave, wise and just, but the nobles, as I told you, that Iltutmish organized Chalisa means a group of nobles. So these nobles did not like to live under the woman ruler. So they always conspired against her. Later on, by the conspiracy, they killed her. So after the death of Rajia Sultan, Iltutmish's son, one son named Nasiruddin Mahmud ruled in Delhi Sultanate. But after his death, one more slave, as we know that this dynasty named slave, one more slave, Ghiyasuddin Balban, he was also a slave. He became the ruler of Delhi Sultanate after the death of Nasiruddin Mahmud. So Balban was the slave and the son-in-law of Nasiruddin Mahmud. So he became the ruler of Delhi Sultanate, and he did not like smiling and laughing in the court. He introduced a very strict rule in the court. So every members in the court follow the strict rule. And after the death of Balban, he died in, I think, in 1287. After the death of Balban, no brave successor after Balban. So the slave dynasty became to an end, and Khalji dynasty, a new dynasty that named Khalji dynasty, that came to power. So now the question is, who was the founder of Khalji dynasty? Who was the founder of Khalji dynasty? So Khalji dynasty, the founder of Khalji dynasty was Jalaluddin Muhammad. Jalaluddin Muhammad became the ruler of Khalji dynasty, and he was the founder of Khalji dynasty. But in a conspiracy, he was killed, and his son, the successor after his death, who ruled in Khalji dynasty, Alauddin Khilji, his nephew Alauddin Khilji, his previous name, as he titled himself Alauddin Khilji, but before that this title he was known, his name was Ali Gurshab. Alauddin Khilji, named Ali Gurshab, he titled himself Alauddin Khilji. As Alauddin Khilji was a very powerful ruler or ambitious ruler, he conquered Gujarat, Malwa in West area, India's West area, and as he made a very vast empire as Ashoka the Great. You know, in previous class you came to know about Ashoka the Great. In the same way, he also established a vast empire. He was known by his two main, you may say, his two main reforms. What were these two reforms? These two reforms were economic, in the field of economic, and in the field of military. So in economic, he was a very strict ruler, and weight and measures weight and measures was standardized, uh, and cheating. And if anyone caught in cheating, cheating was severely punished. So each and every one who follow strictly the rule, follow the rules that were made by Alauddin Khilji, because he punished very severely. So, for that punishments, the people very honest for their work. And in military reforms, he had a well equipped army. As I told you that he made a vast land. So how he made the vast land, how he established the vast land for this military or for his own army. So he had well equipped army, and he just kept the branded horse in his army, and he gave the salary to his soldiers. He gave salary to his soldiers, and the soldiers were also follow all the rules very strictly. So so Alauddin Khilji was a very powerful or very ambitious ruler, or for his fulfilling his ambitious, he did a lot and made a very vast land. So later on about Alauddin Khilji, no one was good successor. So this Khalji dynasty came to an end, and the new dynasty, that was Tughlaq dynasty. We have to we will read this Tughlaq dynasty in next sessions. So thank you for this.